how does Sherlock see through everything?
Dying, if at all possible. The first scenario involved hurling myself into a parked hospital van filled with washing bags. Impossible. The angle was too steep. Secondly, a system of Japanese...
Is the secret in the eye of the beholder, or can everyone else do it too?
So easy.
He who says he can and he who says he can't are both usually right. We perceive him as, oh, he sees through everything with his deductions, but there are two features of interest as always.
There are two features of interest, as you were always saying in Dr. Watson's stories.
I never say that.
You do, actually, quite a lot.
To make those deductions, he placed in his mind only the relevant information about his work throughout his life. Most of the time, we are so in our heads, we are so caught up in our thoughts that it prevents us from memorizing things or even seeing what's happening around us. For example, when you leave your house to go to work or a coffee shop that you go to daily, you've probably never paid attention to your surroundings. Like how many steps you climb to get to your office, or what's the color of the car that's been parked outside your door, other than yours. And you're probably trying to remember those things in your mind right now, but it's not a very clear image, huh? If you want to recall the things you see around you, or memorize something you study, or the places, objects, a phone number, or even binary digits, whatever you want, you need to improve your visual memory by building a physical place in your mind. Almost every great person has used this method for the work they're working on. Nikola Tesla had the ability to see the vision of his work vividly in his mind before turning it into a physical object. He was even fixing the bugs in his mind before turning it into a physical object. If you're saying like, he's a genius anyway, it's nothing to do with this method, well, to save you from excuses, another example could be Jonas von Essen.
3, 8, 3, 2, 7, 9, 5, 0, 2, 8, 8, 4, 1, 9, 7, 1, 6, 9.
I mean, he's a two-time world champion in memory, so this method works. He is one of these people who uses a mind palace to remember certain things.
The first 3, 1, 4, 1, becomes tårta with this letter or digit alphabet, and tårta is Swedish for cake. So the first thing that happens is that I just see a gigantic cake outside of my door. And then the next thing is 592, and that's a ghost. So there's a ghost coming up of this cake, like out of this cake. And then 653, it's a helmet. So this ghost is wearing a helmet. And that's like the first 9 digits in one scene.
Now let's take a look at what this memory place is that Sherlock Holmes and Patrick Jane built in their minds to remember what they once saw.
We can create a memory by building a palace in our minds. We can sing ourselves a song or tell ourselves a little story.
A mind palace.
Get out, I need to go to my mind palace.
The what?
By the way, BBC Sherlock Holmes used this mind palace method, not Arthur Conan Doyle Sherlock.
You ain't nothing. Hound.
In his book, he refers to his mind as an attic, a mind palace or mind attic, but both are used to make the information readily accessible and easy to remember. Now we're going to build a mind palace inside of our minds by using the method of Loki, or the method of location. But before delving into that, I'm gonna give you 8 words in 8 seconds, and I want you to memorize them. And we're gonna try again at the end of this video and then compare the 2 results.
But why? I mean, why would I memorize all this fun?
How many of them do you remember? And you don't have to lie to yourself, because at the end of this video you will be remembering more words than you do now. Okay, now the first step is the map, the location. Think about a physical location, like your room or your house or somewhere else you're familiar with its every detail, because we're going to link every piece of information to something in there. It's going to be our map, and it's going to be something we will always use for everything. We're not gonna change it, so choose it wisely. And if you want, your mind palace could be somewhere you have created too. And the second step is to plan out the whole route. Like, are you gonna enter your house first, then visit the rooms? Or are you gonna step out of your house, then go somewhere else? In this video, we're going to enter our house first and then visit the rooms. These are the words on our list, and now we're going to link every one of them with something and place them in the rooms of our mind palace, while turning them into a story. Let's visualize ourselves moving through our mind palace. In front of my house, there was a crime scene, and it was impossible not to notice it because of the deafening police sirens. I passed through the scene, and when I turned to the left, I saw the entry of my mind palace. I stood there for a good moment. I hesitated because the door was too strange. It was a strange key-shaped door. Then I opened the door and went inside, and just by the look of the hallway, you could tell that this was a scruffy flat. I headed to the stairs to go upstairs, and there were 17 steps, a detail I had both seen and observed. Then I entered the room, and I saw a desperate doctor who was crying out loud. I moved to the kitchen to get him a glass of water, hoping it'll make him feel a bit better. But only when I looked out of the kitchen window did I see the wise junkie lying at the crime scene. Now let's try the same words again. What is that? Have you memorized all of them? Or at least I assume you did better than the last one. I hope so. Yep, you're welcome. On your first try, it might take more than 8 seconds for 8 words, but after each attempt, you will get better at linking any word to any object. You can even transform the words into objects, colors, or numbers. It's all up to you. And don't forget, the crucial thing here is that you have to exaggerate to make the memory last in your head. Make them as strange, unusual, weird, and specific as possible, like a key-shaped door, crime scene, deafening police sirens. The more you put on some humor, the longer it lasts. Like if there's a hole or falling on your word list, you can imagine yourself falling into a hole like Alice in Wonderland. And then the place you will arrive at will be your mind palace or your wonderland.
Bazinga!
Or if you have party, tea, hat, rabbit, cookies, mat, and table on your word list, you know what you gotta do. You're going to imagine yourself having a tea party at the table while eating cookies with the rabbit and the Mad Hatter.
Well, as you can see, we're still having tea. And it's all because I was obliged to kill time waiting for your return. You're terribly late, you know. Naughty. Well, anyway.
Then if you like, with the blue caterpillar, you can get hot. Use only one word for each room, so you don't forget it when you try to remember them. This is how you make things stay permanently in your mind. See you in the next video.